battle.
Good evening, Juventini. It's the three of us again. If you already have not caught us, that's the worst thing to say. Already have not. Okay, I screwed up already. Dash, how you doing? We're with Lucas as well.
Hey, welcome everybody. We're here to do some Europa League pregame, some press conference pregame, some tactics pregame. Today with the Tres Amigos, and we're not sponsored by the liquor at all, guys. So just ironic Wednesday night.
That sounds like a horrible tequila.
Yeah, come on,
what
man.
Is it?
Really
I haven't
thrown.
Three. I don't know. I'm not a tequila. I mean, I don't know. Listen, I'm Canadian.
Or the restaurant, the Tres Amigos restaurant.
Okay, you got to remember, I'm Canadian. I don't have necessarily all the same things. We've discussed this. Like, we have Harvey's, for instance, which is our like budget. What did you call it? Our budget Sonic or whatnot.
Yeah, the budget Sonic. And then no, because like the thing is like I think the most common tequila, no, that's Tito's is vodka. Yeah, but yeah, like vodka is called Tito's in the United States. Like apparently Tito's is crazy. So like I don't know about that one.
All right, this was the worst intro, but it turned all right because we're talking about liquor.
Yeah, man, it is a nice storm.
We got it one up already.
No, it's like, what are we gonna do, man? It's a nice storm. We're gonna need that after this.
That's true. Big storm coming in. I guess we should do this formally again. If you have not caught yesterday's video that we released, actually, it was this morning. Sorry, on the rebuild, big wrecking ball one there. Mm-hmm. We have Lucas. He's
Hi, everyone.
Hey, yeah, welcome. He's the new man on the scene.
Glad to be back. I had a lot of fun yesterday. I rewatched that video a few times and I was like, dude, my eyebrow, I'm like Ancelotti. It's just kept going up and down. I was like, okay, I got to work on my setup because I look funny. And
see, I thought you were doing your Dwayne The Rock Johnson impression where you're like,
well, I'm just going from podcast to live stream. So you don't like pay attention to what you're doing on a podcast. Right. So as I'm watching myself, I'm like, oh gosh, I was telling Farhad, I almost slapped my computer when I was talking to you guys. I'm throwing my hands around. I'm like, all right, so I need more space.
Listen, a lot of things get hit in my studio. It's okay. Most recently, my ceiling. If you caught that Twitch watch along, yeah.
I need to pull that clip. I forgot to do it.
I punched my ceiling on the offside goal. If you missed it, guys. So,
hey, guys. So Bones caught my little jab in the video. I didn't call y'all a boomer on that video, so I'm still part of the team.
Nice.
So Gaetano coming in hot. So he's talking about. Did we see the Vardiol?
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the?
I have not. We were linked with him in the summer, so I'm actually interested because he is. He's the masked wonder there from the World Cup, if you recall, Croatia, the guy with the mask.
I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah, look that up for us. We'll continue on, but explain it for us. I guess it was potential red card because here he is. For Bremer it was foul in attack, and for Vardiol, question marks face palm. Yeah, I guess it's gonna be one of these.
Yeah, give me a second, Gaetano. I gotta find the clip and I'll see if I can share it with us. So you guys go ahead while I do some clip research.
Yeah,
I'm curious if he's talking about the assist that happened today because he did assist one for Leipzig. I was watching some of that City Leipzig game. I had it on like the dual cast though for Paramount, so it was half it was City and then half it was the Inter game. And wow, I don't know if you guys use Paramount, but it is very blurry, especially when you get into that dual screen.
We make fun of them. Yeah. We make fun of Paramount here. So
yeah, it's not the best budget, but at least the commentators are better than ESPN.
Yeah,
I mean anything is better than ESPN. All you have to do is like do better than Alejandro Moreno and Stevie Nicol. Alejandro Moreno, former MLS guy, was like, when I was a pro, I would do this. Like, bro, you're at Sporting Columbus, like chill. And then Nichols is like from the 70s and still talking like he still knows the game. So yeah, anything is better than
nothing will beat Roberto Martinez, where he's just going into his show, and then he's going back to Belgium, going back to the show. Oh, like, dude, stick to one thing.
On Gaetano, yeah, I understand English isn't your first language. It's cool. Spelling mistakes are all right here. I'm not gonna no grammar police.
Yeah,
unless
he
it's
only does.
Ash.
Yeah, I was gonna say unless it's me. Unless it's me.
I mean, it's just Americans. You guys are fun sometimes.
Yeah, I know we are.
Oh man, did you find anything on that? Because if not, I'll just start jumping to a bit
Yeah,
of
start
news.
jumping your thing, Dave, because I gotta pull it up and then I gotta freeze frame it just so we don't get copyrighted. So
Okay, and Tom here saying, yeah, Gaetano beat me to the comment of the RBZ goal. Z or Z? What's the channel standard? Z? Okay, Canada, USA. Bremer's decision was hard as fuck against us. Bardial had both arms on Man City's shoulders. Okay. Yeah, we'll definitely have to look that one up. But let's just get into some of the Juve stuff, since I mean it is a Juve channel. We do that eventually. So no Chiesa. They were teasing. They were dangling the carrot all week. No Chiesa. So I don't know, Lucas. You surprised, or what did you expect there?
Yeah, I mean, I was really surprised actually. I mean, I saw all week it was Pogba, Chiesa teasing back and forth. It was like, oh, we'll get one, we won't get the other. And I think we were all probably assuming it was Chiesa.
Mhm.
And I'm just, really just kind of wondering what J Medical is doing over there. If Chiesa can't get a string of games going, was he rushed in too soon? Is it a mental thing? We need him for these big games, and he's just not there at the moment. Like,
it's unfortunate too. Yeah, the Champions League game, because this is something we would have ragged incessantly on with Dybala back when he missed all those Champions League games, right?
I still razz him for that.
Yeah, of course. Not to compare Chiesa to Dybala, but
yeah, no,
it is a bit of a hard look that he's not available for potentially our biggest game of the season so far. It has the potential. Like if we lose this game, it is in a sense our biggest game of the season because it's defining the rest of our season, right?
And we seem to have a history of that too.
Yes.
Where it seems to be where this defining game, and we are missing a superstar, one of our best players, a Chiellini, a leader, whoever it is, a Dybala, and we don't fall on that crutch of we lost because of that though. But it's just like if those players were there, we probably could have won. We're not going to blame them, we'll blame the refs or something, but we need them to be there. And this is the time of year where everybody just is out of gas, or they start getting injured, or
and that's the difference between a championship team and every other team is being able to stay healthy, or at least have the depth in your bench to continue on through this, like the later seasons of the campaign, right? So we'll find out tomorrow. Again, like it's very defining in that sense, for better or for worse.
What do you think about Pogba being out again?
And that was dangled. So I had forgotten about Pogba for the most part. Like I'm just being honest. He was just I even missed that preseason game. I was not able to watch that preseason, so I have not seen Pogba for. I don't know, of course, I didn't watch
10 years
United, right? So like it's been a while. Yeah. So I almost don't even care. I know that sounds horrible, but I wasn't expecting anything from him. Chiesa at first is like, okay, he's not playing the next game. If he hadn't even been training with the squad yet, and this was Monday we were talking about this. And then Tuesday, it's like, yes, he's absolutely. We're getting the trident. We're even going to get like the 4-up top. Like they're making all these grand exclamations about our formations. And today it's like, oh no, neither one. Like go screw yourself. We're just messing with you, man. We got the clicks.
And they made a big deal about resting Chiesa for Spezia, just so he's ready to go for this big game against Nantes. Yeah. He's not ready.
Mm-hmm.
And same thing with Pogba. Why dangle it? Like just play him or don't. Like I don't want to hear about it anymore. And we keep seeing him at practice. They're teasing it. It's like he's playing against the U23 or playing with them, whatever is going on. So he's getting minutes. You just have to wonder if it's a mental thing beyond there.
Yeah. Or one of his voodoo magic deals. I don't know.
The whole coyote thing and burying. Yeah.
It's a little bit of both, I think. Because I always say, and I will always have this opinion. Meniscus injuries are one of the toughest injuries to come back from, because it is physical, it's easy to come, they stitch it up or scope it or whatever. It's the mental thing, because the thing is essentially you're removing padding within your knee, or you stitch it back up and your knee doesn't settle. It takes a while for your knee to settle. So it's like, I understand Pogba's extended absence. Am I thrilled about it? No. Just because the thing is like, so when I tore my meniscus, my whole body's equilibrium was thrown off. So like it took me, and again, I'm not a professional athlete or anything like that, but with like the physical therapy and all the rehab and all that fun stuff, it took me about 12 to 15 months to be able to be 100% capable of doing what I could do prior to the injury. So for him, I totally understand it. I mean, again, he's got the best medical care, arguably decent physical therapists, but a lot of the injuries that he's having right now post the knee operation are kind of similar to what you would have. Because, like, for example, the recent thing that took him out after Monza was a quad hip flexor. So it's like, you guys saw the injury to Dragoski. So like how he was clutching in between his thigh and hip. That's what happened, allegedly happened to Pogba as well, where because when you have a meniscus injury, you're kind of overcompensating subconsciously on one side of your leg, and you build that fatigue in your hip flexor. And even though he has the best medical care possible, because again, dude makes millions a season, you still, it's just the way that the body recovers. So it's just with him. It's unfortunate. I mean, am I excited for him to come back? I love to see him when he starts playing again, because I think he's kind of the missing cog that this team needs as far as the gap in between the midfield and the offense. But yeah, and Chiesa too, guys. Like I understand the fatigue that the guy has. I mean, the guy's trying to put it in, and you know how Chiesa is. He is 100 or he's out.
He's his own worst enemy.
Yes,
and I get it, because I'm my whole life I've been the same way, where I'm either injured or I'm going face first into something.
Yeah, and the thing, it does, and it's like, I'm sad that we won't have Chiesa, but at the same time, Allegri said this when he came to Juve last season, where he said Chiesa needs to learn how to manage his energy. Chiesa just comes in and goes 100% at everything, and everyone kind of like went at Allegri for that. And
no, it's true. That's why we love him, though. That's exactly why we love the guy.
Because, like, for example, think of the ACL tear against Roma. He tried turning while essentially going full sprint and then trying to shift his weight to adjust to turn with the ball. So it's like, that's one of those things where, you know, you got to be able to decelerate properly. And I know a lot of strength and conditioning coaches say to their players that they train, they say, hey, man, you know, being fast isn't the issue, it's slowing down. And the irony of it is when you start looking at injuries and how these players get injured, it's a lot of times when they're trying to decelerate or slow down or change direction. So, you know, it's normal. I think Chiesa will be fine. Personally, you know, we shouldn't rely on him to beat Knots at the end of the day, because again, guys, like, quality wise, we're technically better. We should be better than Knots. So with Chiesa being out, yeah, he's out, but I don't know. I mean, for me, it's like, it shouldn't have been like, you know, everybody right now sitting there being like, oh man, Chiesa's hurt, we're effed, we're done, we're gonna lose. And it's like, I don't want to have that mentality. I don't like that at all.
To answer Tom 26, yeah, when the Chiesa documentary will be available outside of Italy, nothing on that at all. Like, we have no idea. I know Beppe doesn't, unless he's holding back. I don't think he is. He has no idea either. He doesn't care. He's watching in Italian already. But okay, now that I'm not on the Twitch, because I can't say these things on the Twitch. That's why we're here. That's why we're here, right? So I was able to get it with a VPN, but only on my phone. So I don't know what your luck is going to be, but if you do put a VPN to Italy, I was using NordVPN. Didn't work on my PC.
Not a sponsor of today. Not a sponsor of today's live stream, unfortunately.
No, whatever. I don't care. If I'm using your shit and I like your shit and I'm going to talk to you about it, then fuck, I don't care. If you want to give me money, I'll talk about it some more.
But serious inquiries, guy, go to TurinSportsManagement.com. I'm just kidding.
Listen, NordVPN, you have advertised on some of the shittiest channels out there. I'm sure we qualify. Just give me a call. We'll talk. Regardless, you might have luck. Try that out. And it's only no subtitles, so good luck. And this actually, no, I have not heard that. Have you heard this from Niket? Have you guys heard the rumors Chiesa is not happy with Allegri?
I don't. Can you quote that for us?
Yeah, what's the source?
Where you found that? Because we'll pull it up. So guys, I'm kind of multitasking, so I'm trying to put together some clips of the goal just to avoid copyright, so we can talk about it. Because I just saw it, and holy smokes, I'm not gonna lie. Like,
Are you fired up?
I'm a little bit fired up because this one was more obvious than the Bremer one. Like, this one was ridiculous. So to answer your question, Gaetano, holy crap, what the hell is this? So
and Gaetano makes a good point here. Guys, I remember Del Piero, who after he got hurt took a long time before he was the real Del Piero again. And he lost a lot in terms of speed. I'm not surprised that Chiesa is in physical difficulty. Yeah, that's an excellent point.
Yeah.
It's just, I think we were exemplifying that with Chiesa. When he is on the field, he didn't hold up. Like ADP, for instance, when he came back, he was more reserved. He was smarter with how he moved. Whereas Chiesa, especially because he's fairly young still as well, maturity levels, all that nonsense, and just personality, like he can't pull back, right? He's just always going after it, and that's him. That's just him. Gaetano saying the documentary on Chiesa is fantastic. So yeah, you would have it available to him in Italy. Lars saying Beppe said that today Juve told him a date that's soon, but he wouldn't say it because it wasn't official yet. Okay, so yeah. So he must have just he talked to he had a meeting. He had a meeting. Straight. He probably got some info.
Yeah, that's right, he did. So who knows?
Niket says, I think I saw it on Fop Mob or One Football. Okay.
I'll be pulling up Fop Mob shortly, so we go over the lineup. So if it pops up there, Niket, we'll pull up the article and we'll talk about it.
Yeah. I don't know. Lucas, did you hear any rumors?
No, I've not heard anything like that, at least recently. I mean, I've heard stuff last year in the past about, the young players not being happy with the play style, whether it's De Ligt or Chiesa, and then I think they were just throwing names out there to throw names out there in some of those articles back a year ago.
Oh, they always do.
Yeah.
At this point, De Ligt complains about everything.
Well, did you hear De Ligt came out, it was about a week ago. I was like, he was in an interview and he was saying that he never said some of the things that were said.
He was saying that they were taken out of context.
Yeah, but
look at who's here.
Hey, Beppe is here. Hey,
hey, what's going on, Beppe? Welcome.
Right.
So he's burning the midnight oil once again.
It's true when he says, guys, Mercado never sleeps, but neither does just Juve, guys. So
I don't think he drinks a lot of espresso.
Yeah.
Lars saying, hey, yeah, Lars, you're one of those like everywhere. I love that. The guys that just part of the wider community, right? You don't get all tribal like a lot of us sometimes do. Andrew Palmer. Oh, sure. Beppe's here and Andrew shows. I see. I understand. I get
it. We're getting ambushed.
Yeah. Delix still leaves a sour taste in my mouth. A little bit. Yeah.
Just a little. Yeah.
Right. Sleepless. Okay. Yeah. How are we feeling? Lars saying he's going to be stressed tomorrow. Are you guys stressed? What's the feeling? And from the crowd as well.
Yeah. You guys go ahead and talk. I'm about to upload the Garvagal stuff, so we'll talk about that real quick.
For my time, it's at like 12:30 the game.
Yeah, it's 12:45.
12:45.
Yeah.
So I mean that could ruin my whole day, like the rest of the day, basically. Yeah. So I mean, just kind of the way my day is gonna happen. Probably tomorrow, I'll probably rewatch whatever we're here, right? Rewatch this video. Have a little espresso as well, make some breakfast, and then kind of just sit and stare at the wall and just be nervous. Yeah. Only games I get nervous about is European games. Serie A games, I feel like we have a good shot of winning or competing in every game. I just don't know what to expect from Europe, and I think some of my worst Juve moments the last 15 years have come from European stuff. So
yeah, that's true. Man, and see, I'm funny. Just the way I think is that I have too much to think about. I have too much going on that it's like just distractions all over the place. And then when I finally sit down to like watch the game, then I'm like, oh shit.
Alrighty. So it is uploaded. We'll do a quick talk about this because this is hot and everyone wants to talk about it. So I've got some images just because, again, Paramount Plus copywriting, and there's no other videos I can pull this from because Paramount and them did a pretty fantastic job taking everything out of Twitter. So, all right, I'll show you this. It's a couple of slides that I was able to take some clips on the Garvigal goal. So this is the initial takeoff. So he's jumping. As you can guys see, looks like he's putting his hands on his head. This is kind of a funny. It's kind of a funny initial header. So Exhibit A is this right here. Exhibit B, as you can see the hands, as he's airborne, his hands are starting to go. And then this is when he makes contact with the ball. So he actually puts his hands on his shoulders and then makes contact with the ball. So this is 100% a foul.
It looks like he's getting baptized.
It really does.
You need a pool of water behind there and a priest.
I should. But this is 100% a foul because he is using, I think that's Laporte, guys. I think no, not
that
Laporte.
looks like Ruben.
Ruben Diaz. That's who it is.
And he's a big boy too.
Yeah,
he's a big boy. He's not someone to just like kind of shake off like that.
Yeah.
So this.
Hold on. Doesn't that other? Who's that other RB guy? Does go back to the other one? He looks like Bernadeschi.
The German Bernadeschi. Guys, that's where Bernadeschi is.
Is that a challenge flag on the bottom left? Like in football?
It looks like a dog toy.
Where did that even
We're just finding it's like one of these things like find what's wrong with this photo.
I don't even know where that came from. Look. It's like floating right here. There's aliens apparently. That's like a
not the alien. There's so much news about aliens right now. Come on.
It's one of those UFOs. It's in the middle of the game.
Okay, the cat coming in with a correction here. Chiesa's unhappy with his role, not necessarily.
I saw that. I saw that on One Football that he wasn't happy playing the kind of wing back role that I assume Allegri's even unhappy with him there, and we're all unhappy with him, and he wants to be closer to the net, so he has opportunities to cut in and shoot. But
wow,
so just talk.
Yeah. That is ridiculous, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Like, wow, how did that? I'm not even a Man City fan, and I'm pissed.
I think we're kind of all man. As much as personally, I can't stand the club, but I think now we have to take solace in each other's misery financially and legally. I'm almost on their side now because he's like one of us. Yeah. No, obviously when things like that are so clearly black and white and we're supposed to have this video review, which is still completely at the behest of biased officials or blind officials. I don't know exactly what's going on with these people, but you can't have that kind of inconsistency.
And it varies from like league to league.
Yeah, it's not right.
Then here's a look at the Bremer one again, just so we're kind of showing this again. So give me 1 second. I just got to fast forward it real quick. So I don't know about that. So like you look at it again, this one's not as obvious as the other one. As this is taking forever to load on me. Thanks, Twitter. But that kind of stinks seeing that one happen and that one count while ours didn't. Oh, that's terrible.
And Gaetano's not think very highly of UEFA these days. No, I agree. They've kind of put a sour taste in all our mouths, at least from our perspective, right? I know people in the EPL, they probably don't care as much, but I do. Yeah, absolutely.
I think one huge distinction between the two, which I didn't even notice too much, was it doesn't look like Bremer puts his hand on the player until he's already in the air, which at that point is kind of easier to like guide him back down along with gravity. Whereas the one with Diaz, his hands were placed on him before he even took off into the air. You kind of see like that, like 1 foot is in the air, and then Bremer really starts pushing down. And he's already at that apex of height, that defender.
And Buddy's hand is already right up there too, if you want to play that argument. It's one of these things. The discussion has changed. So it was whether Bremer, that was a foul or not. Was it a handball? Like, was that a goal or not? Essentially, at the end of the day, it went from that to what is the most correct interpretation of the rules, and if so, this, why not that? And this is when it gets really ugly. Because before we could have like a civil conversation. It's like, okay, from this angle, this interpretation. Now we're like, okay, I don't understand. The rule book is thrown out the window. Where do we stand on things?
It's consistency. That's like I said, and that was one of my main arguments for the semi-automatic offsides. Consistency, because it's black and white. This, again, all based on interpretation of the referee. And I said this on Twitch last night, or not last night, because it's Wednesday. What the hell? It's Monday. So I said this Monday. I said, whenever you put yourself in a situation, do not give the referee an out. And because the referee's going to take it by his interpretation. So the referee who ref this game didn't take it that way. The referee who did ours.
Never leave it up to the ref to help you win a game, right?
Nope. And again, Dave, you can put your tinfoil hat on this one. It could be, hey, maybe UEFA's like, we don't like these guys, so let's be petty about it. Maybe not, but yeah, that's ridiculous. Like, how do you miss that? That's just wow.
Yeah, I don't think there's a conspiracy in this one. It's just straight up inconsistency. Yeah. And we know that these refs, could we look that up? Like where that ref, what league he came from?
I can
probably on FOTMob.
Yeah, it is. Give me 1 second, Dave. I'll pull it up for you.
I got it on one football.
He looks Turkish. Serdar Gozubuyuk, perhaps is how you say his name. I have no idea. I cannot pronounce Turkish names. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna say it's from Turkey because it's got the funny accents.
Nope. Dutch Football Association referee.
What? Okay, well, it's definitely a Turkish name. Okay, well, there you go. So Dutch league, not a bad league by any means.
Your life is a lie now,
isn't it? Always. I mean, stop. Wear the hats, guys. Keep the radio waves out.
Yeah. But it's kind of funny though, because Man City didn't even win that game. I just kind of find that funny because they're playing against Red Bull Leipzig, and how the Premier League fans or stands are like, the Premier League is the best league in the world, even though we haven't won a single game in the round of 16 because we're utter rubbish.
Oh man, it's a wonder if anybody from the EPL.
They're quiet, man. I just they haven't been loud on Twitter, so it's they're on watch. I think they're having a rough night sleeping. Very, very difficult. Seeing some nightmares of 2014, 2015 when they were a bunch of banter clubs. I think they might be going back down that trajectory. Quite.
They'll
soon.
have big work projects to be focusing on tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's what I was texting my buddies, and everybody. Oh, I didn't watch it, or I've been busy. Like I'm not.
Oh. Yeah, you guys were watching.
Other things are more important right now when their team loses.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's
sure.
I'm just saying. I don't know. I thought these guys. Well, they are technically financially they're the best league in the world, and yet you can't beat Red Bull Leipzig like Tottenham.
They're the best. Milan. They're the best produced league, and as a result, they are the richest league.
So, and this kind of goes on my argument. I've said this and I will continue to say this. The Premier League teams do not have tactics. They are physical run and gun teams. Again, all of them essentially play the same way. It's a press with speed. You play against a team that schemes against you. Like, for example, Leipzig schemed against Guardiola. They held them to a 1-1 draw. Will it be the same at home for City? I think City will probably run them over. But, like, for example, same thing with Conte. Like, I can't believe he didn't beat that trash Milan squad. And like, with all due respect to
Just
Milan,
trashing everybody right now.
guys,
Cut it
like,
down.
let's be real here. Sassuolo put 5 on Milan, not even like 3 or 4 days before that match. So it's like,
Yeah.
how Tottenham with Harry Kane's son couldn't do that, where like Domenico Berardi somehow turns into like
Hey,
I'm
he's a national level right winger.
He's a hero.
Yeah,
He won a
respect that
Euro.
man. Respect him right now.
You know, it was funny because when he was connected with us over the summer, I was like, he's not the best option out there. And everyone's like, what the hell is wrong with you? This guy's amazing and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay.
If he was that good, we would have gotten him like 4 or 5 years ago when we were linked back then too.
So here's the thing, Lucas. We wanted him and we were going to get him, but he turned us down. He and I quote, he said, I don't think I could get a starting role on Allegri's team, so I'd rather just stay at Sassuolo. And everyone's like, what? So he turned us down because, again, he's not the most mentally fortified dude.
Yeah, Sassuolo was really the perfect team for him to be a number one, essentially. But whatever. I mean,
we got Bernadeschi instead.
Lord Berna.
What's that? What's that? What's that? Come on, Gypsy. Come on.
Oh, man. Love him.
The memes never stop with that guy. You know, I thought we lost memes when we got rid of Storaro, but Bernadeschi filled that role perfectly well.
Hey, they're back on the pitch preseason. They're started. Is it next week? The MLS? Pretty soon. Starting back up. So yeah, get to see Lord Berna once again.
So, you know, the interesting thing is, I think it's like the first time ever that all Serie A teams won their games in the Champions League, which is interesting, even though I think Inter low-key got carried because Porto got a red card and they only won 1-0 after the red card, and the red card was in the 78th minute. But gosh, man, like, Inter had trouble with Porto and they were trying to talk smack about us when we played against Porto. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if Porto beats them on the return leg because they only won because of the red card. Yeah, seriously.
They're a good team.
Yeah, so, wow.
All right. So, Gaetano's asking us a question. I mean, this is supposed to be a pregame, which we haven't done at all. So, what do we think about tomorrow? Do we save this one or do we just get it out of the way?
I think we can get it out of the way.
Okay, let's get it out of the way.
You guys go for it.
Lucas.
You want like a prediction?
Whatever you want.
I expect us to win tomorrow. I think it's gonna be probably boring, ugly, like a 1-0, 2-1 type of win. Nothing special. We're not gonna dominate and prove we're here to win the EL. You know, not that I don't think it could happen. I'm just saying, like, I don't think tomorrow's the defining game. Hopefully we see a goal from Vlahovic to continue that confidence. And I'm kind of excited to see just kind of how these youngsters do under pressure. Looks like maybe some of them might come off the bench. But this is a very pressure, hyper-focused game. Like this is a one-off basically now. So I'm excited to see kind of how Fagioli does and Bremer and no Chiesa. But Keane, because there's no Milik. And I kind of want to see what Allegri does if he goes with the back four with like a Sandro De Sciglio on the flanks and maybe try to see Kostic a little bit higher and Di Maria a little bit higher. So we'll see. We'll see if Allegri's going to be throwing his jacket or not tomorrow. I'm excited.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That would be fun. All right, let's get into tomorrow's game. We're half hour in. We've bullshit enough. We're here. We're deep. We're deep.
I've got Allegri's press conference that we can talk about. So going into the game.
And to answer that quickly, Tom, there is no more away rule.
No
away goal rules. Sorry,
they cut it. All right, so Allegri. This is the official Juventus website, guys. So you can go on their website and read this if you want. But kind of paraphrasing, So Allegri's talking about here that we need to pass the first qualifying round, given that in the first 3 years or previous 3 years, we've gone out in the round of 16 in the Champions League. And as for percentages, he is taking tomorrow as a final. So a one-off match. So kind of filling in what you guys were saying there as well. And he's also commenting how the atmosphere is going to be intense. He's complimenting Ludovic Blas, who is also good as well. He's a left-footed forward, and the forwards will also return, as what he's saying, by dropping down and playing defense. So he says it won't be easy. Winning away is difficult, especially in Europe. And then this is him kind of commenting on Chiesa, saying Chiesa hasn't made it. So he's saying he's not ready for the game. When you've been out for 10 months, you know that there may be niggles that condition you. So translation, you might have some irritants. But anyways, we can't play with 3 up front, not with the possibility of the game lasting 120 minutes. We need substitutions and certain characteristics. We talked about this. We called this. We said, I don't expect him to go, ridiculously crazy. I don't expect them to go all attacking. I think it's going to be a more strategic approach because, again, if you run the trident off rip, hypothetically say that Chiesa's playing, if you run that trident off rip for the first 30 minutes and you don't get a goal or two, you've essentially exhausted your hand. So Allegri's going to play it with a conservative hand. So just in case, again, if the script changes midway through the game, he's able to throw something in there to kind of throw a wrench in their plans because kind of happened with Knots. We threw the trident in, we got that first goal, and then that's all we could have got. And then we're just kind of like, crap. What do we do? We've got nothing.
Yep.
So that's what he's talking about there. Because some people were saying that Allegri's playing for 120 minutes. Like, come on, guys, stop taking this guy out of. Stop reading this out of context. Like, it's kind of getting to the point where it irritates me because I'll see it on Twitter and everyone's like, "Oh, Allegri's trying to push this game for 120." Like, no.
He's trying to be prepared. He has contingencies in case it goes to 120.
It just baffles me because then those are the same people that'll be like, "Oh yeah, these coaches don't have a plan B. What a bunch of schmops!" And then when a coach has a plan B, they're like, "What?" But going on, so this is him talking about Di Maria and Paredes, where he says it doesn't just depend on the experience of those two. The whole team must play a solid match in terms of a technical aspect and their approach. We mustn't concede what we conceded to them in the first leg. Last Thursday, we played a great game. They scored one of their 2 chances. They're really good on the counterattack, which, again, 1 shot, 1 goal. That means you have a great counterattack if you're able to do that. We're relaxed. We're approaching the match even as it should be. Even though it won't be easy, we have to be ready to play for 90 minutes. Let's hope it's enough. That is our goal. So, again, saying that he wants to keep it within 90 minutes. Doesn't want to play for 120, but have a contingency plan for 120. So, and then Dave's doppelganger, Manuel Locatelli, says the first leg was not positive. So we're here to win and go through. We are ready. The Europa League is an objective. We haven't performed well in Europe. We're aware of it. So we have to be smart and not go out with the wrong attitude. It'll take intelligence. We have to remain lucid all match, being switched on for 90 minutes and beyond. The stadium will be full. These matches are the best to play. We've got to turn the atmosphere in our favor. I will try to lead by example. There are many leaders on this team, and that is an important thing. And that's pretty much it for that. So, you guys, your thoughts?
I mean, Allegri. That's it's classic.
Same old. What he's doing.
Yeah.
Altar.
Yeah, Lucas. I mean,
podium.
Sorry, what did you say?
I said the podium, the altar, whatever it would be. He knows, he knows what he's doing.
Yes. I mean, he's been there many times before. I think it's standard. There's not a whole lot to really break down on that. I don't think it's we're gonna go out. We're gonna try to win it. Bam.
Other than the switching off part, I mean, we seem to kind of have that problem. What about the 60th minute? Sometimes 65th minute. Right when we kind of give what we can in like the first, part of that second half, then we kind of switch off. We let up a goal. Now it's 1-1. It's 2-2, whatever it is. And now we're trying to get into a whole new kind of groove to restart back up trying to score.
And so I think this is where Allegri switches the script up a little bit because we've noticed in the Spezia, we've noticed in the first Knots game, we've noticed in some games where the first 30 minutes the team's pressing, they're going for it, they're creating chances, they're trying to do something with it. I think Allegri kind of goes at it with a more conservative approach. And yes, it's going to suck watching it, guys. I'm going to be honest with you, guys in the chat. It's not going to be a spectacle. But I think Allegri is going to kind of slow it down a little bit, take it little by little, and then gear it up in the second half and start pushing. Because, like, for example, look at what happened to us against Villarreal last year, second leg. We pushed really hard at the beginning. Villarreal didn't have any chances on target. We go into halftime 0-0, not creating anything. And then within the last 20, 25 minutes, Delic slips and Rugani slip. And then next thing later, you're down 2-0. And you're like, what the hell just happened? So, if anything, I think Juve switches it up and goes slow. They need to go into this match slow. The thing is, and the benefit of the Europa League versus the Champions League, and I'm not talking about competition-wise or skill level-wise, any of that. No, that's not my argument here, is the distance between the two legs. Because with the Champions League, you have 3 weeks roughly from the first leg and the second leg in the round of 16. So if you perform really crappy in the first leg, or if you have a really weird performance, that hangs on you for 3 weeks. Because that's going to be brought up. It's going to be on your mind for 3 weeks. And even if even if you tie, that's going to put pressure on you. That's like an accumulative pressure. And I think that's kind of what's happened to us, because the past couple of seasons in the Champions League, we've absolutely collapsed the second leg. Like it's just like a really weird mental collapse, or it's just where it's like the pressure gets too big for them and it just ends. The only round of 16 second legs that we've been able to overcome stuff or do like miraculous things was the Ronaldo Atleti comeback and then the Tottenham comeback. Those were the two ones, and you can count the Real Madrid one as well, that same season with the Tottenham one. But again, that was just a beast of a team that we had, different mentality. They were able to will the team back into it. But post Ronaldo Atletico Madrid, the second we went down after that, we went down 1-0 to Lyon, and then we couldn't get past them. And then next thing later with Porto as well, we actually tied that game, forced it in extra time, and then just collapsed out of a stupid free kick that shouldn't have gone in. And then last year with Villarreal, it's going in 0-0 towards the late stages of the game, and then we can just completely bumble and just bottle it all. Mm-hmm. So I think it's going to be a slow counterattacking game, and then if nothing happens within the second half, you would see Allegri probably switch the script into going into an all-out attack towards the last 10-15 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, is that not just more of the same in a sense?
It could be,
yeah. Yeah, I mean, you break it down pretty well. I think that is what we're going to have personally as well.
Gaetano agrees as well.
Yeah, so I mean, you're just the man right now. Lucas, disagree with us. Come on. Tell Dash he's an idiot.
Everybody does. I know love.
Oh, man.
I think it's probably just going to start off slow, just with the players that we have. And the good thing is with some of these youngsters, they don't have that like fear that we just acquired after Cardiff, or like this like disappointing feeling or bad luck, whatever you want to call it. So it's like some of these guys are just like ready to prove themselves on a European stage, especially now that Serie A is just where we are in that table right now isn't super exciting. So
yeah,
if people watch Juve, it's going to be for these European games, and there's a lot for these young guys to fight for. To the point where, like I said, I'm almost more worried about the experienced players like the Chesneys, the Bonucci's, and Alexandros to kind of make a mistake more so than the Fagioli's and the Keanes. Like I think that they might play up to that pressure. But yeah, it's par for the course. I think that first half's going to be boring. I think it's going to be boring, and we're going to hit halftime. It's going to feel like it went quick. Nothing happened, and we're praying and we're talking about who the subs are going to be, who we're going to bring in, who's going to be the person, who's going to try to get the game winner or whatever it's going to be in that second half.
And that's the issue, because you bring it up perfectly well, is we don't have a substitute that sits there and you're just like, oh, shoot. Like we had Milik, but he's hurt. So now he's out of the picture. And then question is, and I'm pretty sure Di Maria and Vlahovic are starting up top, but it's weird, because before the old teams, you would have someone that would threaten coming off from the bench. But even like in the Sarri season, like it's just like you had the starting 11 and that's it. Where it's like we don't have that anymore. It's just it it's not it at all. And then Sam is saying we need a total change like the one Man United is having. Well, watch our video on rebuilds and you'll kind of figure out why we can't do that right now, or why we can't afford to do it.
I love how he comes in like, I will tell you the truth, and then he's like, "Hi, Al."
I know. Yeah, the thing is like, we got to be honest here, guys. We can't do a full rebuild like Man United is doing, because look at how much they spent. They spent almost 90 million for Anthony. That's ridiculous. And then like, I don't even think they use him that much. And then 70 million for Casemiro as well. So again, even if we were to get Ten Hag at Juve, he would not perform how he's performing at Man United, because the thing is it's the money, guys. The Premier League, they can afford to do rebuilds, they can afford to do adjustments and things like that, because again, they just have the capital that we don't have. So it's really tough to compare any team to something in the Premier League. And Gaetano was saying that, guys, the problem with Europe is we play very slow without high intensity. Yes, that is true. And also
that's part of the rebuild too, right? Is
Yeah.
a coaching change, which we're going to get into.
Yeah. And yeah, watch our video from yesterday.
and that. But no, I don't want to distract ourselves, but we're starting to get linked with other people. So we'll get to that when we get
the coach that we covered in our video yesterday.
Frankie's here. What's going on? Guys,
Hell,
I need to make a quick public service announcement here. I promise I'll do this. A few of you guys are in here now, so just listen to the pitch. So if you're on Discord or you want to be on Discord, check it out, whatever. So first off, I'll just throw up our brand thing to get into our Discord. Made a little QR code that you can scan if you so wish. I would just continue the discussion, the tomfoolery, if you will. We have fun. We just screw around. I'll stream too, like the women's games, the under 23 games, kind of little watch parties here on the side. Discord's great. If you don't know it, if you do, the official Juventus server is looking to be an actual partner with Discord itself and really grow the channel. And they've reached out to us because they allow us to post on their server, which has currently 639 users on it. We post our videos on it, so we get that extra exposure out in the world, right? So just as reciprocation, they've asked me to say, hey, if you want to get on the official Juve channel, the Discord, and I mean, it's insane. It goes on. I can't keep track of how much is going on. There's lots to do, lots to talk about, but I'm going to throw it in the comments right now. I don't have a cool QR code for their channel, but that is the invite link there in the chat right now. I'll try to remember to put it in the description as well when it gets re-uploaded in the morning, rendered, if you will. So that's that. Check it out. It's fun. Either ours or theirs or both. We are linked together. We are a partner of the official Juve as well. So, yeah, that's that. So, sorry. That's my little advertisement break. Like and subscribe since we're at it.
No, I disagree with this comment. Nah, bro, it's not. There's young talents that will work. You don't have to get 90 million. We can't afford anyone even at 20 or 30 million without doing a 2-year loan. Like, guys, we legitimately cannot buy anyone right now.
Well, I have some money talk here.
Yeah, we can do that, but still, Casemiro is actually a really integral piece of their team.
Yeah, and he's old, and they paid 70 million.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's if you think we can compete, like if we get De Zerbi and compete with Fagioli and all of them, something that a lot of folks don't know. That's all I'll say. I strongly disagree with that comment, because you got to realize, man.
And we're seeing it this season too. You're seeing Moretti have a goal scoring problem, which eventually you assume he'll kind of get over that hurdle. You're seeing Fagioli make small mistakes, but he's been a bright spot. Keane's been hot or cold the last few seasons. So we're kind of going through some of those stages with the youngsters where we're getting out those kinks and those mistakes and all those early stuff that you assume to see. And we just, luckily, we have some players in their prime and kind of older that can balance the boat a little bit. But if you just throw youngsters, that's what we were kind of talking about a few days ago. It's a full rebuild at that point. You can't expect much in Europe and Serie A, and we don't see it as much in soccer as you do in like American sports, let's say, where it's NFL, basketball, those other sports where they'll play to lose at that point. In soccer, you don't see it as much because there's so much money involved, and they're like soft reboots. And I don't know, like I agree with what Dash was saying. Like, it's hard
Dash,
to get youngsters at that level to work. What's
Dash
happening
ain't
with
here.
Arsenal
Dash
is
ain't here
rare.
no more.
Oh yeah.
Did you notice that? Sorry, I
Yeah.
just want to interject there quickly. He lost power because of the ice storm. Lucas, I know you're not far away. I hope you don't. Just so you guys know, there's a huge storm going through. So if we start dropping off, just sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to cut you off there, Lucas.
No, but it's like, we brought up Arsenal a few days ago, but it's like that they're ahead of schedule. They're ahead of schedule with what they're and they're playing above what they should be doing. So it's not easy to play youngster, especially in Serie A when everything is so tactical and once Moretti scores more goals will come. No, I agree. Moretti and even Fagioli, are going to offer goals. Definitely have the players to win Monza and not Testament.
Okay, I think I have to maybe protect Dash a little bit with Sam. I know he kind of went now on with you, Sam. Heated discussion, perhaps. And yeah, we do have the players to win pretty much most teams out in the world, I would say. But in terms of doing a full rebuild, and that was the kicker. You said Man U threw tons of money at that, and that's not really a rebuild because you don't rebuild with Casemiro because he's old. That's just not a rebuild, right? So
or Ronaldo.
Ronaldo. Yeah. I think maybe it's just the use of words, perhaps. You guys will agree on the same thing. It's just the way you guys are probably presenting that information. We agree. We should be beating all these teams. Absolutely.
We're all in agreement on that. We just need to win. Doesn't matter how it's done, just win.
And okay, so let's talk about the money because I have that up here. Okay. So not saying that this money is magically just appearing. I mean, it gets approved through boards and other boards and through the financial committee. It's a mess. It's business. But anyways, Exor is close to collecting 600 million in dividends from Stellantis with a net increase compared to 2021, 475 million. And 2022, 140 million. Translations. The safe Agnelli. I
saw that. I saw that earlier today.
That was weird translation. Sometimes, so I'm calling them out. Sometimes they're messy. But anyways, Elkan owns 52.99% of the holdings, and therefore the family is preparing to receive around 320 million. So that doesn't mean they're going to spend it on Juventus. I mean, they can spend it on whatever they want, technically, right? But I mean, I take that back because we can't spend it anywhere. We can spend it anywhere we want legally. Let's caveat that, right? Because we know we're kind of in trouble right now for spending money. So I don't take that for what it is. I know there's a lot of money talk in there. So dividends, and I'm probably the wrong guy to explain this. Do you know stock market stuff?
I just know dividends you're receiving. You're receiving some money. They're getting some money. But I think, like you said, they may not actually put it into the players in the squad.
Yeah.
They may not do it. It really just depends on how the season finishes and that with how much prize money they get too. We, like I said, we talked about that, but yeah.
Okay. So here from Investopedia, I figured the internet would explain this better. A dividend is the distribution of a company's earnings to its shareholders and is determined by the company's board of directors. So it's the stock market stuff. It's basically your payout from the amount of shares you have, more or less. It gets
for us being on the market opposed to other teams. Yeah.
Yeah. This is not my wheelhouse. I'm not going to get deeper than that. I'm sorry. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe we can find some. If you guys want to get into financial stuff and go down that rabbit hole, I can perhaps find somebody. Like maybe my brother, because he's nerdy about this stuff. I don't know. I'll find somebody if you want. Okay, Sam, back at it. Yep, I'm okay with that. Think about it this way: the team has a lot more potential, but needs the right guy, coach, to do it. Yeah, sure, absolutely. In today's market, 300 million is enough for one player. I mean, it's a bit hyperbolic, like 100 million maybe. But yeah, I know.
We're getting there. I mean, look at how much was spent on Neymar and some of these other players that. They're worth 3 or 4 players just in one go.
Yeah. Man, it's crazy. All I'm gonna say, I'm just gonna keep on referring back to the Super League. This is why the Super League is happening. Not that it's gonna make players cheaper, so much as it's just gonna make more teams be able to afford those expensive players. I think that's what the reality of it really is, right? Because you look at
you're starting to just see a divide, not based off of talent, but based off of money too. Slowly but surely, it's creeping up. Besides, like what we talked about earlier, the PL is not actually winning their CL games right now. They just lost their three, where poor old Serie A doesn't have money. Just won, you know.
Yeah.
So,
do you know what? Sorry, I'm with KB in East in the clubs. What does he mean here? I think that's a typo.
Make it.
And the rest of the clubs, I don't know. Let me know. I'm
clubs make it self-efficient.
Yeah, KB, correct your spelling, please, so I know what the fuck. Invest, okay. Invest in the club. Invest in the club and make it self-sufficient instead of buying players. Yeah. I mean, it's easier said than done. I agree. That is the right way to do it.
Well, it's like the Ajax model. I think that does offend some people when we start going down that route of, do we focus on youth or do we go get the finished product like the Uniteds do and the Real Madrids and Barças of the last, let's say 25, 30 years. And we were in that group, you know, if we let somebody go, it's because like Zidane, they went to Real Madrid because we had the players in their prime. Now we're switching that model of we'll bring in the young guys and then we'll maybe sell someone like Iling Jr. who maybe wants to go back to England for 70, 80 million 2 years from now. And
if we did, I mean,
you know, I'm just an example, and we hold on to some of those Italian guys. I think that's one thing I don't hear a lot of people talking about when it comes
part
to
of the plan.
Our youth system. No, specifically is like we keep talking about these young Italians we're bringing up, but what about the non-Italians, like the Sules, the Iling Juniors? Like that's an accomplishment too. Like these players are coming to us who are not from Italy, and they're putting faith in us, and it's paying off. And I think it's huge to talk about too, because we could be one of those clubs that has a good, maybe like the Barca, where you have a few kind of slip through like that, and you could also get the finished product. Not that they're the gold star of financial.
No, I didn't even write it down, but Tebas was talking shit again. I don't even know what he was saying. The guy's nuts. He's nuts. The La Liga president.
Yeah, they like La Liga is something, especially when you poke their funny bone, which is saying that Premier League's better than La Liga. Then they get pissed.
So, Sam, okay, I didn't know this. Did you know Ten Hag bought a team of performance analysts of 10 experts to live analyze the team?
I saw that today.
Yeah,
I saw something about how they had that they were at the game, I believe, and they were the game they just had yesterday. There was a whole row bought out, and all the analysts were in that row analyzing. I don't know exactly what they were analyzing, but that does seem to be the future of the sport.
And we touched on that too. Was that yesterday? We touched on it in that video about like the Moneyball thing. Oh, maybe that was on Twitch on Monday. Yeah. Do you know about Moneyball?
I know. Did you watch the movie? I know the concept basically, and
basically you use like immense data collection to determine the value of players. And of course, the old guard's like, oh, you have to feel it. You don't know, numbers don't lie. And then the Oakland Athletics went out and made an almost championship winning team with the lowest budget in the league.
Well, here's an interesting thing. So I get my just sidetrack. I get my coaching licenses through the U.S. Soccer Federation, and one of the things that I was learning recently on there that they wanted me to know for like compliance stuff was to not make judgments based off of a gut feeling. And like I just thought that was very interesting, because I'm like, that's how us coaches like make some of the best decisions of our careers, is that gut feeling in a player, instilling that motivation, confidence, whatever. But then you look at a player like KDB, who got his new contract based off of statistics, and like he hired a company, I can't think of the name right now, that is it not Quantum? It's one of the new big data collecting companies that helped create his contract for him, saying basically, look, I perform 30 assists a season, I get 15 goals. Based off of this, I deserve this much. This data says that I'm going to keep producing this much output for the next 2 or 3 years. So it is interesting that they are trying to kind of push us to this more almost like a FIFA football manager model where it's all statistics, data analysis, the stuff that they would kind of laugh at us 20 years about.
But
Now
it's stupid not to, is it not?
What do you say?
It would be stupid not to go down this route. Well, think about like what are we doing right now on YouTube? We're trusting an algorithm to outperform the next guy.
Yeah, but what are we doing with VAR? That's where my head kind of goes too. It's like we put so much faith in something, and it's like if you don't get those kinks out quickly, you're gonna have problems where maybe some players slip through the cracks because I mean, you know how hot or cold somebody could be. I mean, look at someone like Keane, for example. One season he's great with us, the next he moves around from PSG to Everton, and you don't know when they're young, you just don't know what you're gonna get, and it all depends on their environment.
Well, and that's the difference between like the scout and the analyst guy, right? It's a matter like your manager, whoever makes the decisions has to take both sides of the story. But if it's only like don't trust those bean counters, those numbers don't mean anything. You got to trust your gut. And you have somebody, I don't know if this is true or not, I'm just going to throw the name out, but you have somebody like Allegri that continues to produce the exact same thing year after year and nobody likes it. Mm-hmm. I mean, is that an example of him just going by his gut, not having any analysts or numbers to go off of?
No, I when I saw that today, I linked it to something different. I linked it to the kind of the Pogba situation where, you know, what Ten Hag did there. Like, I think it's behind the scene, like a good quality of a coach. Like there's more to just the team. And if you could have your way of doing things and small little things like that, whether it's what Ten Hag did or Liverpool hiring a throw-in coach and it paid out dividends to them when they scored a few goals with throw-ins. There's more to coaching. And I was just thinking about Allegri and the Pogba situation. Like, when does it come into play where Allegri just kind of has that sit down talk with Pogba? Like, are you ready? Yes or no? If you're like, I need to talk you into playing. I need to break the ice because you're in this weird limbo. If the medical team is saying he's good to go and he's still not, like, when does the coach kind of lay down the law and show a different skill set?
So
apply something, different.
I would break it down. So when you have, say, 10 analysts sitting on the sidelines, their job is to sit there and analyze and collect that data. That is their job. Mm-hmm. Their job isn't to make those decisions in the heat of the moment in the 90th minute to try to save a game. You can't bring out your spreadsheets in that time and analyze the data. You have to make that gut decision. But after all is said and done, that game is over. Should he not collect those data points and see and reference that? This is what I saw in the game. This is what I witnessed in real life. These are the decisions I made, and put that against raw numbers and see where they line up and where they don't line up. And if, say, they didn't line up here, is that where we got scored against? Maybe that's where I need to make an adjustment, right? You're taking your bias out of it to a sense.
Well, they already kind of do something along that lines of, you have the assistant coach, you have other technical coaches on the sidelines that they're there to watch certain aspects of the game that Allegri's not looking at, or whoever ex-coach is, where he's just like, look, I'm going to focus on this part. You focus on this compartmentalization. And then that's when you see, like, the cameras showing Landucci come up to Allegri and giving him advice. And he's taking that advice. Well, what was Landucci looking at?
But that's still in the moment, in the heat of the moment.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. We have that there. So that's where I'm saying, like, when does that transition happen where they're like, oh, robots will do it for us. We don't need Landucci. We don't need 4 of these other guys that are sitting there twiddling their thumbs on the bench with their hood up because it's cold, watching, how many steps Locatelli's taking, and if he hits 6,000 steps, we got to take him out because, then he starts dipping in form. It'll be interesting to see when they start making that switch, but I just hope, like I said, it doesn't kind of happen with VAR where it's like it did not look like you were really prepared to install this new wave of technology and even the semi-automatic stuff that they're still talking about. it has to. I'm not an old head where I don't want to say too much of the game change. But you want to do it in the right way.
Absolutely. And I just harken back to North American sports where it did have a growing pain for sure. Why can't we just learn? Why is European football so resistant to just look at these other leagues? Hey, they've been doing this for years. This works. We've talked about it too. The style of offside in hockey, where as long as one part of the body is onside, you are onside. Not as long as one part of the body is offside, you're offside. Like it's the complete inverse, and it opens up the game so much more, and it takes so much of the bullshit. It's just at the end of the day, it's how do you use the technology?
It's like baseball. Like they're doing the whole new pitch clock rule, right, for baseball, and baseball and soccer, football, culture, whatever you want to call it. There's so much old heads. It's such everybody's so resistant to change. So they're very comparable in that idea of they don't want to see their sport change, and
that's what it is. Yeah, and you see it's not just soccer, right? You see this all over the place. I mean, I deal with it at work.
Yeah.
You see it in your governments, right? Like how old is your prime minister or president?
Mm-hmm.
And is he doing the woke thing, right? Or is your president or prime minister one of those woke dudes that all he does is worry about being woke and don't actually lead a country? You know, that it's about the balance. Right. It's all about this balance and striking that balance and finding what works for your team. I mean, like right now there's an AI war between Microsoft and Google. And I mean, they're both embarrassing each other because they're like, we have this technology. We're the biggest tech companies. We're going to throw this tech out there. And it's like, a little half-baked.
Well, it's similar to just the idea of, are these teams passing the eye test? One thing, everything's about, everything negative for the most part about Allegri is his style of play. Yeah. In a lot of people's words. Me personally, I don't agree with it. I like the old-fashioned style of counterattack in soccer. I just find that more attractive for me personally. Mm-hmm. Not changing is the whole reason Serie A has no money. And that and the Calciopoli stuff in 06 and 05.
Eating your own, essentially, is what it comes down to. Fucking your own sister to the point where like your family line is so inbred that you're incapable of reproducing.
Yeah, and even Dash kind of said a small comment about the Red Wings are a perfect example of a team kind of like what Juve did. It's like, we'll just patch things in Serie A too. We'll patch something here or there and then hope it doesn't the dam doesn't blow. We're not going to, or we'll put asphalt instead of concrete and hope that things are just going to stay put instead of making real change. But yeah, back to
man
tomorrow.
Jeez, we've done this so much today.
Yeah, I have.
Speaking of the game,
just looking at it, and I was kind of segue into that too.
Guys, you're killing us tonight. Dash isn't even here to do the monologue, and we're still going well over time with it.
Well, Dash is on his phone. All he hears is like you saying, if you go woke, you go broke. And Dash is like, okay. How did it go so bad?
Is he texting us right now?
No. I'm just saying, like,
oh, I know. No, he knows. Yeah. He knows. I'm alone. Well, not alone, but like I'm without the caregiving of Dash at this moment. So I'm unleashed. We have to keep each other in line. Is typically how this works. Mm-hmm. Now you just have to keep both of us in line. You're really just our babysitter.
That's why Farhad brought me in.
Oh man. So yeah, let's look at the squad list anyway. So Tech, Pizzoli, Pernin, of course. Loca, Quad, Kostic, Labrio, Paredes, Fajoli, Barlena Chia. Sorry, still gotta get used to saying that. Barlena Chia. DeCilio, Bremer, Danilo, Sandro, Gatti, Benucci, Rugatti, and Vlahovic, Keane, Di Maria, Sule, and Illing. We do not know, however, who will. We never know, of course. That's always the caveat until like 5 minutes before. Lineup specifically in terms of formation and the starting 11. But that being said, Lucas, what's your call? What's your formation? Who's playing tonight or tomorrow? Sorry.
So I thought about that this morning, and I have two ideas, right? Of kind of how this looks. So one of them would be a back four. And it would be Sandro at that left wing back role, Danilo at the left center back role, Bremer at the right center back role, and then a DeShilio at right back. And then you would have a midfield 5 of Kostic, kind of like that left mid, Cuadrado at right mid. So you have 2 players that can send in crosses. Di Maria under Vlahovic at that cam, which is a little bit different, but he seems to cut in there every single time anyway. So maybe we start off that way where we have him there. And then Arabio and Loca pivot right behind him. We'll see kind of how that looks, but kind of like what you said earlier, and Dash was saying, who comes off the bench then? If we kind of have all 4 of those guys up top or some sort of trident of attack, Keane very rarely scores off the bench. He's usually the guy who, if you start him, he's scored every single game, whether it's the 60th minute, 50th minute. Like, he needs to get kind of primed up.
Yeah.
He's just not that. He's not an impact player. Sule and Ilan Jr. are still young, and they're probably not going to make a huge impact off the bench either.
Illing has, though, so maybe
that's fair. That's fair, but then we're sitting there kind of relying on maybe a Rabio goal in that pivot role. He kind of sneaks up and maybe shoots the ball or finds a way to get something in. But
you
the
hope
other idea
though.
I had.
Sorry. I think the hope though is that we're not in a position where putting on Illing is a last hope. Not to say that won't happen because of the style that we play, but you want to be in control that you can't say, hey, Illing, get some minutes, go.
Yeah, and the other idea I would have is just a flat 4-3-3 with Fagioli in the midfield and just dropping DeShilio out of the team and having Cuadrado play that right back role, and maybe have Sandro just be a little more defensive on that left side to compensate for Cuadrado not getting back. But I mean, yeah. I mean, that's what I was just saying. That back 4, but just switching Bremer and Danilo because Bremer has no left foot, and then having Fagioli kind of be that extra kind of playmaker. But I don't know. I would start Cuadrado over DeShilio in that team.
Yeah.
Just because Di Maria cuts in so much.
You need that coverage.
Yeah, and DeShilio, I don't know. I don't like DeShilio on that going that high up on that wing.
He has no offense. So he's a serviceable defender, but no real offense comes out of him.
Yeah.
But this is interesting. So this is FOT Mob.
Okay.
We've never seen this lineup at all in this iteration of it, I don't think, ever.
Mm-hmm.
So FOT Mob is often wrong. Not saying this is it.
That seems to be that's the one thing I miss about Sarri. Is he had one lineup and that was it. And then we got Pirlo and it was a new lineup every single week. And then Allegri, and it was like, there is no Real Madrid consistency where this is your starting 11. You know exactly what's going to be.
Some of that too is some positions don't have a full out starting person, right? Like
in a backup role and
or just healthy, what have you. We're a little, we're a little handcuffed. I think Allegri with a full healthy team would a lot like that is his style. It's not to play any of the youngsters, just keep on playing the same guys.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Bones, what if you switch Danilo and DeShilio? Like put DeShilio as a center back? I don't know if I trust that either. I think DeShilio is fine in a defensive right back role. I think if you have Di Maria, you don't necessarily need to have an overlap.
No, you have Fagioli there too. So you have Fagioli who could kind of swing something in, and he's got that playmaking ability. So, I mean, DeShilio could be there too. It's no big deal. It's just if you're relying on one of those wing backs to go up, I just don't think it should be DeShilio or Sandro. I mean, when you have someone like Cuadrado, yes, he's aging. Yes, he's not the best, but he still offers more attacking wise than
at least start him. Yeah. I actually don't mind FOT Mob's version here. I agree with putting Quad in instead of DeShilio. I'm still okay. I'm more okay with DeShilio than I think most people are.
It's safe and kind of what we were saying earlier, may start off slow, and that could play in a Legri's favor. But yeah, I'm a DeCilio guy for sure. I don't know why like backup players at Juve get so much hate. Like they're like Rugani's and DeCilios. Like they're not the starters. Like
it's their wages a lot of the times too.
yeah,
They
that's
get paid way too much. Yeah. So, I mean, I'll go with Thought Mobs. I like it because it's different and it's exciting, and I love the 4-3-3. I'm a big 4-3-3 fanboy. That's no, there's no disguise on that one. And yeah, Bone's saying no Paredes. I think he's really falling out of favor. There's more and more that we're not that it's news, but there's more news saying that we're not buying them. Not surprised, really. Not at all. Okay. I think I'm gonna save some of the stuff for tomorrow because we're going for quite a while here already.
Yeah.
But we did talk. We're gonna have to talk about this again, but I'll bring it up because it's in the news. Because Dash, I think Dash has some good opinions, but ice storms, things happen. But Roberto De Zerbi,
yeah.
Sometimes I just fuck it up. Okay. He is frustrated that he was unable to sign more players in January to boost Brighton's European bid. Juventus are among several teams potentially interested in him this summer. That's from an account, Matt Law DT. That's not the only place I heard it, but I'm not sure of that account. It's probably a Premier League account, if anything. But links have been popping up the past couple days. We've talked about him the past couple days. Dash is claiming that they watch our channel. They don't fucking watch our channel. Come on. They're old Italian dudes, right? Why would they watch a bunch of young English guys? It's not happening. But, I mean, coincidences do happen. We talk about De Zerbi. Here he is in the news. What do you think? Is this something we switch on to?
I'm a huge fan of De Zerbi. The way that his teams play, they invite pressure and they create this like De Zerbian S shape with the way that they transition up the field. Like I think it's very smart and he can implement things quick. I think that's a big positive to the type of coach he is. He's young and he's got great ideas. I think it's all talk though. I think a lot of talk has been happening. I think especially since Chelsea is not doing too well and Zerbi came into Brighton. I was looking at it a lot at that time. And he kind of went in there as like, dude, these players are not that talented. They don't know how to score. That's what he kept saying. When it's crazy because he had Trossard at that time too, and McAllister, and that other forward. I can't think of his name, but he's got a talented squad. And he came in there and said, "This squad sucks. Like this squad does not compare to the type of players I had at Sassuolo," which was shocking to read and to hear. But I think it's just talk. I think maybe it's the Chelsea fans trying to say, "Ooh, like just kind of shake up Brighton, like, oh, you're going to lose your coach." And there's a lot of talk in England. And
sure,
that
was a pretty decent Sassuolo team though that he had.
Yeah, it was nice. Would I want him at Juve? No, I think Allegri is a great coach. I think there's not a lot of coaches better than him. But if we were to get a new coach, let's say, I think De Zerbi would be my guy for sure. I think he's one for the future, and he's a great Italian coach. I would want him for sure.
Yeah, I'm growing on him, I guess, as time goes on. Again, if you watched the break it down or tear it down video there, kind of go over that as well. But just to rehash it, I mean, if you're going full rebuild, you got to cut everything out. You can't keep any of the old guard.
If you go full rebuild, it has to be De Zerbi. Just the way that his teams play, there's no way somebody like Bonucci could do it or Quadrado, like where they're literally saying, all right, like how Dash was saying, there's no tactics in the Premier League where it's just all run and gun at press at your players. His defenders keep the ball right on their foot and just allow someone to come right in their face. And then the second they get in their face, then they release the ball. There's no way Bonucci could do that. Quadrado or Rugani. Like you need ball playing center backs, and it has to be quick transitional passes that are all progressive. We just don't have those type of players. We have a regista that looks sideways all the time, and we need somebody that kind of looks more forward. Ravella could be that guy. for De Zerbi that I really like. I like him a lot. And I thought he proved himself when he went to Shakhtar. Like he left Italy. He's like, look, I could do it here, and I could now go to Brighton and like still hold my own where Chelsea's fallen apart. And he's
That's
like,
actually a good point. Yeah, because he's moved around and has been able to do it in different leagues. So yeah,
and quickly, like implementing it quick. And I think that would be such an important part.
I
Especially
like that.
When someone like Juve never gave Gasperini of Atalanta a real shout and a real opportunity because they thought it would take too much time for him to implement his system.
There's also how abrasive he is with management. So I mean, there's probably a couple little things why we didn't.
That's probably why we never got Zidane too. It's like when you have Agnelli, who is on the field every single day, and Paratici, who is just hanging out, in the dugout. Yeah. Some coaches don't like that.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll try to pump out a couple more of these. This one, I don't know if it's funny. I guess it depends on where you stand on Dybala here, but he risks a 1-month ban. So by the Guardia de Finanza.
I saw that. Well, quickly about Dybala. I mean, I have an armband.
Oh, look at that.
I mean, that's my favorite player. I followed him when he was at Palermo.
Okay, so you know about this then?
I saw that. I mean, I don't know too much about it. I mean, it's new news about when I believe something involving him not receiving certain money or something during the COVID years and how it could affect him not playing or something.
So this is from Republica anyways. The Argentine heard yesterday by Guardia de Finanza regarding the 3.7 million he allegedly received from Juve. It all stems from a request for compensation made by his lawyer in May 2022 after the non-renewal. So that doesn't really get into it that much, but I guess more to follow that he's up for a ban potentially. I just found that kind of out of the blue and interesting.
Yeah, I'm just curious how it affects his view of Juventus, because I don't know if he's a legend, but he's up there. Is like just being like a very liked player, and could have been a captain for us like long term, and it just didn't work out. I just hope it doesn't turn into like him bashing us or talking poorly about us like post that situation if he does get banned for a month or something. I still want him to be in the hearts and minds of Juventini and him to say great things down the road 10 years from now when he's like, oh, who do you like more, Roma or Juve? I want him to be like, Juve.
I guess. I mean, I don't really care what the hell he says 10 years from now.
That's my guy. That's my guy. My other guy is hanging out at J Medical every day in Mr. Pogba.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, we're all fans of different guys for different reasons, right? He was just never one of my favorites, but I mean, if he's yours, I'll let you defend him.
Thank you. I take pride. I mean, I did a funny bit a few months ago, and I did a podcast on the World Cup, and the only thing I cared about was Dybala winning it. Like, he came up there, took a PK, and I was like, all right, my day's made, my life's made. It was on my birthday, so I got to see my guy again do something special.
Dybala's World Cup trophy was as earned as Bernardeschi's Euro Cup trophy.
They'll take it. I respect Bernardeschi for it just as much. They come in, they do their job, and that's all they need to do.
All right. Yeah, I just want to have some fun with that. I don't mind the guy. It's just not my style of player. That's all it is, really. At the end of the day, I'm more of a Chiellini guy.
Really?
Okay. I'm more defensive, in the dirt, physical. Just. Yeah, whereas Dybala's, I mean, he's gonna spend a lot of time rolling around.
I'm a Dybala and Yaya Toure guy. I'll switch it up completely. Two different styles.
Yeah, really? Yeah. Oh, that's good too. At least you're not like locked into one thing, right? Because
or a Messi Ronaldo guy. Gosh,
can you be both? I mean, I don't.
I'm just saying in general. I'm neither. I don't.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah.
I'm not really. I don't care. I guess I have no. They're great players, I guess, in that sense. Yeah, but
yeah,
But to be like, oh, am I gonna, I don't know, get his shirt? No, I don't care. I mean, if it counts, I got my nephew, who was what, like 5 or 6 at the time, a knockoff Ronaldo jersey. I don't know if that counts, but that's as far as it went. All right, let's just pump out some of the crap news that I say crap because it's probably going to change tomorrow. Ahatronen is back, but his future is yet to be decided. I mean, he's had a rough go. Let's be honest. We don't really know where he is at this point with things. We're just wishing the best.
Have a number yet?
That's a good question.
Did you see that video of him working out?
I saw the photo. I didn't actually watch the video.
Okay, yeah, there is a video that was posted of him just like going through some routine workouts and testing his body, and he looks like he put on some weight. A lot of people are commenting on that, which it doesn't bother me too much. I mean, if the most important thing with a kid like him is his mental state, in the right mental aspect, he'll cut down the weight and hopefully play some U23 games or Primavera stuff, and then hopefully be ready to go by the summer. Well,
Yeah.
you know, like,
Yeah. And I'm trying to look. I don't think he has a number, by the way. I'm looking it up right now.
yeah, it's him and Kaio. Like those two
Kaio.
men, and like they were supposed to be big deals, and now we don't know what's kind of the future for Kaio George. And
so Kaio was supposed to be somewhat of a big deal. I think Ahatronen was just something it was a favor for, I feel like a dummy. I'm forgetting. What was the agent's name? Mino Raiola.
Raiola,
yeah. I think it was sort of like, okay, you need to pay me back a favor. Could you take this kid? And he was like, all right, we got $1 million here. Fucking sure. What happened to Ake? He's still injured, isn't he?
No, I thought he went on loan. Yeah.
Oh, the loan.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Where did he go to loan? Harley Ake. Where did he go?
I'll find that real quick. It was towards the end.
Right. Did he go to Dijon? Yeah, he's in Dijon.
Yep, Dijon.
That's why I couldn't remember, because it's the French league. Mustard. That's how you remember it's the mustard. Okay.
Did
yeah, Anthony, just somewhere in France.
One thing I found interesting, I saw something about Beppe when he talked to Fagioli, and he was talking about how his 2 favorite numbers are 21 and 10. And I was like, ooh, Kaio's got 21. I wonder if they give him the boot, so they give Fagioli 21 or something like that, or they talk about it and Kaio changes his number, because I would love to see Fagioli in a 21.
I wonder, because Pogba has the 10. When he leaves,
he's not getting rid of that. It's Pogba, but it's more so maybe seeing Fagioli in that 21.
You like the 21, do you? Is that because of ADP?
No, I mean, Pirlo had 21.
Or Pirlo, sorry. What did I say?
Yeah, Pirlo had 21. Dybala had 21. Zidane had 21.
Yeah, there's a bunch of 21s.
Higuain had 21, and I liked Higuain. Even his gut and all. He's great.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of which, I'm calling myself out for not knowing. What was ADP's number before he took the 10?
24? Is it 24? 14? Something? I swear it was like.
Does somebody in the chat know that? I know one of you guys know these crazy stats. I mean, that's definitely getting to a bit before my time. I was really young back then.
You're talking, you're talking like mid 90s. I was like 2.
Yeah, I was. Let's see, Alexander Del Piero. See if it tells it. Somebody, I mean,
24. Okay, so someone said 24.
Is it 24? Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice. All right, 24. Nice. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
If Allegri's still there, he'll give Deschilio the number 10.
Please, he could be. It's like when Dani Alves went back to Brazil and he played a cam instead of a wing back.
Yeah.
He'd be like Deschilio starting to play.
Oh man,
cam, because did you see those reports? Like I know he was like suffering through depression a few years ago, and Ronaldo was like a big role model for him and all of that, and strengthening his mind. And he would stay after and like practice with Ronaldo all the time. And then when he came back from like a lengthy injury and he started playing like a left mid role in a 3-5-2 last season or season before, he was just dicing people up on that left side. So maybe he could watch Paul Pogba and play a cam for us.
Yeah, I mean, just a
Get
harness
the 10.
because Pogba's not going to do it. So
no, someone, Giglio, please.
Oh man. Okay, I'm gonna knock off some quick transfer rumors. Way too early, of course. That's why I'm just gonna knock them off. But Arsenal apparently tabled 10 million for Rabiot. I think he's going to the Premier League next year, but we'll see. Di Maria looking to renew. Heard this the past few days now, but just because of the financial situation right now, they're just not talking about it. I don't think they will until April, May.
Why would he not want to renew? That's the question. It's like if they're going to offer him the same type of contract, the same amount of money.
Apparently, it's less. I heard a report that was less money.
Yeah, because he's definitely being paid very well for.
Yeah, but it's going to be more than whatever he gets at Rosario, for instance. They can't afford that. They'll probably get like 300,000 at Rosario,
and a few goats and cows and all the other stuff. I'm
living it up.
Yeah, and VIP access everywhere. That's what you'll get.
Anthony's saying Del Piero's my Dybala. I mean, it's too easy though. Del Piero was actually great. Dybala was, I mean, he was good enough. It's just you're like holding back there.
But I mean, like everybody loves. I don't know. Like I think Del Piero's great. Like yeah, Del Piero, Buffon. Those are. How do you not say that?
Yeah, legends. I think there's like there's grace, then there's legends, right? It's the next tier.
Yeah, like they're definitely my favorites, but I guess Dybala would be the one that isn't like a legend like that, and I could attach to. You know.
Yeah, there's a personal connection. Like my favorite hockey player, for instance, was a bit of a goon. He would get maybe 10, 11 goals a season.
Yeah.
Play on the fourth line, get in fights, like rack up the most penalty minutes kind of thing. Couldn't skate. But that was me. I would rack up the most penalty minutes. I couldn't skate. I would score once in a while, maybe.
Yeah.
All right, cool. My favorite player. I love the guy. And he fought it.
I just like when you see a player look human and like struggle out there. There's something about Messi and Ronaldo. I look at them and I'm just like, they're like robots almost. Like you don't like, I like when you see struggle. Like when things are like a 10 out of 10 perfect all the time, like it's kind of boring.
You like
I want
the
to see
storyline.
I like to see the storyline in the player and the person.
So you must be a Maradona fan then, because he has the storyline.
Yeah, that's my greatest player of all time.
Okay, there you go. All right, we're teasing this all out of you.
That's my go.
Okay. Went on a little Argentine foray there.
You see that comment by Bones?
Illing's gonna be. Oh, I didn't know. Illing's gonna be the new Cameronese. You think so?
I had a poster of Cameronese.
I don't know. I think so. Okay, let's look. I'm gonna have to look. I think I have to look at some tapes and compare. Maybe that's something we can do. Actually, is do the comparison. Let's write that down for next time, as a talking point.
If he could amount to a Cameronese, that would be awesome. And he does the whole Italian underwear photo shoot too. That would be great.
Yeah, no, I think it's because it's been years now, and this is the thing, guys. When you haven't watched a player in years play, you sometimes have this nostalgic idea of what actually went down. You actually got to go back and look at the tapes and compare, right? Like because sometimes you're like, oh man, that was not as good as I thought he was. You get kind of that disappointment sometimes because, again, like. If you're a Dybala fan, right? And you're like, oh, I love Dybala, and you haven't watched Dybala in 10 years, but in your head, he's still the greatest player.
Yeah.
You go back 10 years later, your idea of what was great 10 years ago might have changed as well, right? It's just, you got to go back and look.
I did the opposite with Ned.
Oh, did he just cut out? I think he just cut out too. Oh, no. Am I still online? Okay. Let me know if I'm still online. There is the ice storm going through. Lucas does just live 30 minutes from Dash. He went offline about an hour ago. So yeah, I'm sorry. It's just the weather. You can't change the weather, guys. It is what it is. Okay, I'm still on. Thank you. Awesome. I'll clean this up then. Close her down. It's been long enough, and nobody just wants to listen to me monologue now. So I'll just smash this out. I'll get your comments in too if there's anything you want to talk about. That being said, of course, yeah, he's gone. He's completely gone. Watch along tomorrow. Match starts at 12:45 Eastern time. So that is going to be 9:45 on the West Coast and 6:45 in Italy. So whatever time zone it is, I'm going to probably 10 to 15 minutes before the game. I will have it out in the morning, my timeline, all that stuff. But yes, I will be there. We're going to do watch along so we can catch up on things tomorrow as well if we don't get through everything today. So yeah, just do that. But let's not waste any more time here. 2 names in the fullback position are coming up. Starting to hear him a little bit more. That's Carlos Augusto, left back from Monza. And we have Lewis Ferguson from Bologna. Now, interest in both of those, still very early. Again, you know my caveat here with transfer stuff. I'm going to throw it out just so the names are out there so you guys are tracking. But I'm not going to deep dive because it's going to change tomorrow. Man, the Mercato just closed and we're talking about it. It's crazy. It's easy news. It's easy news. All right. Now, I think we're just going to keep on repeating this specific thing because it's so exciting. If you guys didn't catch it here on the weekend, Juventus Next Gen will be facing Vicenza in the Serie C Coppa Italia. That is Thursday, the 2nd of March at 8:30. It's actually a 2-legged affair. Oh, I didn't have it written down this time. There's a second one. I won't bore you guys now looking it up. I'll get the dates for you, but it's a few weeks later. There's actually quite a break between the first and second leg. But congratulations to the Next Gen. Man, that's amazing. That's so good that our youngsters, our under 23s, are killing it right now. Moving up the table, doing all right. Doing all right. Much better than they have been in the past. All right. So going on to Tuesday. That's the derby there against Torino. Already sold out. I think it sold out yesterday. So that's amazing. That's how many days? Almost 6 days before the actual match is completely sold out. And we've had a few of those ever. It is funny. Ever since things got worse, they kind of got better. Not sure exactly what happened there. Maybe it's the whole letting the ultras kind of wave their banners around. But I don't know. We'll talk about that too during the game, maybe on Tuesday, and see really what's going on. Definitely a different talking point. And finally, I want to leave you guys on one amazing point, and that is the 15 clean sheets. We're at 15, only bested by Barcelona, second best clean sheet record in Europe. So that's all the news. I know I just quick fired. It's not as fun with one guy. I understand. So that's why I won't continue this on any longer, guys. Thank you so much for listening. I'm going to have to try to pretend to be Dash tonight, won't I? So let's do this. Let's play the music. Throw on the screen. Bam. All right. Thanks you, everyone. It's been a pleasure as always. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for supporting our new man on the team, Lucas, as well. Unfortunately, both Lucas and Dash, both in the Michigan area there, lost power. I'm probably pretty soon down the line as well. Storm's coming my way. That being said, if you don't see me tomorrow, it's probably because there's a storm that's rolled through and I lost power as well. But stay tuned for the watch along. 10 to 15 minutes before the game, I'll be there, do a quick pregame, and we'll roll right into it. Please please subscribe. Thank you, everyone. I love you all. Peace out, and I'll see you tomorrow.